How did you come to combine poems and pictures in what you call your illuminated printing, such as The Marriage, which changed my life, as well as your songs and Jerusalem?
My younger brother, Robert, who was an artist himself, died when I was 30. But he appeared to me later in a dream and showed me a method of printing which combines the painter and the poet, giving me a way to be independent of publishers. This is what I call my infernal method, one of melting the parent surfaces away, displaying the infinite which was hid. This method allowed me to write and design directly on copper plate, the act of writing and drawing being the same corporeal action. Some marks making words, some making pictures.
Okay, but how did you proceed in practice?
The process is elegantly simple. First, I write and draw on a copper plate with a liquid impervious to acid. Second, I place the plate in an acid bath, which I think of as the infernal fires, which eats or melts away whatever is not my words or design. And third, I ink these designs, which reveal the infinite human imagination, and print my plate. My wife and I then color the printed pages by hand. Thus, each of my books is unique.
Your words and pictures, and you insist on both, seem to be in continual conversation, neither one silencing or even dominating the other. How do you view their relationship?
I know myself, both poet and painter. I refuse to choose one or the other, which is what publishers insist on and the public expects. The engraver is expected to engrave pictures, the poet is expected to write words, and society assumes that these are separate activities, splitting them apart in the schools and universities. They are not. They are one in human imagination, which is the eternal body of man, God himself.
But wouldn't you have been more financially successful if you specialized in one or the other?
Having apprenticed as an engraver, I could have been one of those fashionable engravers like Schiavinetti, who won so many commissions and whose works all looked the same. But I experimented continually and subverted what the public expected of a printmaker. Commerce cannot endure individual merit. Its insatiable maw must be fed by what all can do equally well. So I struggled, yet for every pleasure, money is useless.
One of your heroes in Jerusalem is Las, the poet, who appears in many of your works and is always laboring at an anvil. And his counterpart, Enitharman, is always weaving at a loom. Are these characters figures of your own laboring at poems and pictures?
The erotic way of my imagination requires in each moment hard labor at the stubborn structure of the English language, creating the sharp and wiry bounding line, and at the loom, creating glowing illusion of shimmering color.
Yes, hard, of course, to create your books of both written and graven line, but what is the creative route for you that branches into poems and pictures?
There is a moment in each day that Satan cannot find, but the industrious find this moment and it multiplies. And when it once is found, it renovates every moment of the day, if rightly played.
A rather poetic answer, but I suspect our audience would appreciate a more prosaic one. Could you give us an idea of your composing process?
No surprise. My answer is from Jerusalem. And I am not ashamed, afraid, or averse to tell you what ought to be told, that I am under the direction of messengers from heaven, daily and nightly.
I take it the messengers are your muse. Could you clarify?
The process, as you call it, takes place in less than a pulsation of the artery, which is equal in value to 6,000 years. For in this period, the poet's work is done. And all the great events of time start forth and are conceived in such a period. Within a moment, a pulsation of the artery.
But what of making the work itself?
Practice is art. If you leave off you are lost.